Good afternoon. I'm Karen Warner, and I am a farmer. You let a farmer on the stage. How awesome is that? I have a little organic farm in Benton Harbor, Michigan, and I'm really passionate about food and food systems, and there's some amazing things happening right now, really amazing things. So I want to tell you a little bit about me, but first I want to share an anecdote that I heard at the Slow Money Conference down in Kentucky. There was a gentleman named Douglas Gayton who created the Lexicon of Sustainability. If you ever get the chance to see it, I recommend it. Imagine that you're walking down the street, and I'm a stranger. I walk up to you, you've never seen me before, and I say, do me a favor, would you? Close your eyes and open your mouth, because I want to put something in it. Would you do it? Probably not, but that's our food system today. Gives you goosebumps, right? It's opaque. You can't see where your food is coming from. So I started farming. People ask me, is it a family farm? Where did you come from? Well, guess what? I'm a city girl. I grew up in East Detroit, Michigan. And I became a farmer because I think food is really important. We are what we eat, right? And so I started the farm from scratch. I'm not lucky enough to be tied to the land by family. I don't have that history. But I am fortunate enough that I am here today to tell you that I went from 1 acre, my first season growing, to 70 acres in 3 years. And I have a lot of people out there still asking me, grow more food. And I'm thinking to myself, Jesus, I can't do what I'm doing now. I need more of me, right? So I thought, well, there's got to be another solution. Let's think about farming a little bit differently. And I'm going to take us completely out of the box, because there are a lot of people who want to be farmers. There are people who are passionate about growing food, and they want to be out there doing this crazy, dirty, risky, dangerous work, right? And you could do all this work, you could do a whole season of production and wind up at the end with nothing, because Mother Nature comes in and says, oop, nope, we're not doing it this year. Oh, shoot, man. Then what happens? Where's my safety net? I don't have one, right? So what do? I struggle, I beg, I ask for help. That's how I started the farm. You don't go out and get a loan from a bank to become a farmer. They just laugh at you, right? Farming is risky. And in the first 3 years of farming, you really don't exist to anyone as a farmer. You have to prove yourself. Even the government doesn't recognize you as a farmer until you've been doing it for 3 years. How do you get to 3 years? A lot of businesses fail after the first year. So how do you get to 3 in one of the riskiest and most dangerous professions that there is on the planet? Well, you just keep at it, right? And if you're like me, you just bug people and you say, I'm here, I want to grow food for you, right? I want to grow food, you have to help me. You eat food every day, don't you? Who in here eats food? Anybody? Yes, we all eat. It's really, really important, right? So I asked my community and I said, hey, I want to grow food for you. Will you help me? And they said, sure, and they stepped up to the plate. And they started giving me money in my community-supported agriculture program. They started supporting my farm before I had even put a seed in the ground. Now, I want to change a little bit what we're thinking about here, right? We need farmers, we need food. There's a lot of great things happening in the food movement, but the one thing that's missing that I keep kind of listening for and I haven't heard yet is, how do we grow more farms? How do we start those seeds? How do we get farmers onto that farmstead growing food for people? Not commodities, not corn and soy. You can't eat that. We need food, real food, and we need it locally. So I'm going to take you to a different topic now. Let's talk about McDonald's. Okay, organic farmer talking about McDonald's. I want to look at McDonald's. What are they in business doing? They sell food, sure, but that's not their real business. They are amazing at business efficiencies. They're amazing at making their businesses successful, no matter where they are. They're in the real estate business. They own most of those properties where their franchises are. And guess what? Every one of you in this room could become a McDonald's franchisee, right? You could apply. You could say, hey, I want to run one of these businesses. And what happens? Boom, there you go. you're in. You've got a successful business. Why can't we do that with farms? Why not? Can we make small, unique, diversified farmstead systems work using McDonald's as a business model? Let's twist it up a little bit. Let's make this crazy thing happen. Let's give farmers like me and other people I know who are in incubator farms right now, they're gonna get kicked off, right? They need someplace to go, but they also need help. And I'll tell you what I'm really terrible at. I can grow food and I love sales and marketing, but I suck at numbers. I am terrible when it comes to the accounting, and I just put those receipts in a pile and I wait for somebody to come and rescue me because I can't do it, right? So every farmer that I know has had to reinvent their entire business. They've had to figure out, how do I keep track of records? How do I interface with the government? How do I do all the sales and marketing? When all they really want to do is grow the food, right? They want to be out there in the dirt. I just want to be weeding and planting all day long. But no, you're going to make me come out there and talk to you. You're going to make me come out there and tell you how I grow things. Maybe I'm one of those farmers that doesn't want to talk to people. They're out there. There are a lot of them. So we need to help them, right? We need to give them an opportunity. Let's create a new career path for farmers. We have a career path for doctors. We have a career path for lawyers. What about farmers? We're just as important, right? And not only do you need doctors and lawyers maybe once a year, you need farmers 3 times a day. So why don't we have a career path? How do I become a farmer? How do I retire from farming? And then I want to talk to you about our farmsteads, right? We're talking about real estate. We're talking about real assets. Farmsteads are more important than anything if they're producing food. And there are people that are taking care of farmsteads right now that are concerned with the future. But there are some that are taking care of farmsteads that aren't concerned with the future. And so we need to change the way we think about our farmstead. Let's do this. Let's say we've got a farmer running a farm business, and we've got another partner over here, and that's our farmstead. That's the living, breathing land that we work on, and we work in, and we work with. It's the air, the soil, the water. It's the animals and the plants that are there. Let's create a new paradigm for farming where we work in partnership with our farmsteads, our farm businesses, and then what I am calling 1 million seeds. And what 1 million seeds does is gives you those business efficiencies and support, gives you everything you need. We take you by the hand, you become a farmer. And then we tell you, this is how you retire. Here's how you can move off of this farm, and we bring in a new pipeline of farmer apprentices. And we train them in the program, and then we hand the business off to them, because these are businesses that need to survive, not just for my generation, but for multiple generations. And I'm so glad that everybody in here has already been educated about B Corps and the 3 Ps, right? These are really important things, and farmers need to think about these things too, but a lot of them aren't thinking about them. So what if we created this new certified B Corporation? It's a mission-driven business, and it's going to take farming to a brand new place where farms and farmers can see the future. Now, I also want to talk to you a little bit about the capital that it takes to get started, right? I mentioned slow money, and slow money is a really interesting movement. It is local long-term investing, investing in food, investing in farmers. And I want to talk to you about creating this kind of labor pool, equipment pool, business efficiencies pool. That's all part of this 1 million seeds idea, because capital is what I need to get started on a farm. Now, I'm pretty fortunate in that I'm not too shy. I got out there and I actually went on the internet and said, hey, will anybody buy me a farm? I want to farm. Will somebody buy me one? Well, guess what? They didn't buy me a new farm, right? But a guy found me and he said, hey, I've got this farm. Can you come and farm it for me? And lo and behold, more and more people show up. Every year I get another person that shows up on my farm and says, I really want to own a farm, but I don't really want to do the work. Will you do it for me? Do you even know what you're asking? It's a ridiculous amount of work, but it's totally worth it, right? It's totally worth it, because you guys put so much trust in me. There is no greater trust than the person that's feeding you. And you have to trust your farmer and know that they're doing the right thing, not just for themselves, but for the planet and for the future of our families, right? So I want to talk to you how you guys can get involved. This is really important, right? We've talked about new farmers. This can even help old farmers, because old farms go out of business because maybe there isn't a plan. Maybe the kids don't want that farm anymore. And then what happens? What happens? They auction the farm off. And the first thing they do is auction everything you need to run that farm and everything you need to grow that food. And I see these auctions and I go crazy because I'm like, I want to buy it, but I want to buy the whole thing. And I don't have any money in the bank. Okay, so let's get involved. You know, Michigan has this really amazing thing. It's called the mile exemption. Anybody heard about it? Mile? Yes, we have one. All right, I'm going to educate you a little bit. So crowdfunding. Who's heard of crowdfunding? Okay, good. So that's the basis, right? Crowdfunding is a new thing that's happening. And what the SEC has done has said, okay, let's open up crowdfunding to a few more people. And in Michigan, we passed the mile exemption. Now, it stands for Michigan Invests Locally. Michigan Invests Locally exemption, which means that we can all now become owners in our farms. We can become owners in our businesses. You don't have to be an accredited investor in order to do it. You can take $5, you can take $10,000, and you can put it in a business that's going to make a difference. It's going to do something great. It's going to feed people. It's going to take care of the planet. And it's going to make you a profit. Woo, yay, we get to make money while we grow food. That'd be awesome. And by the way, I might even get to pay myself a salary. Wouldn't that be awesome? Most farmers, I don't know if you know this, but most farmers who are growing food are working off the farm. Why are they doing that? Because they can't afford to pay themselves. Because farming is risky. So let's spread that risk around. Let's take all of these little farmsteads, let's spread that risk a little bit. Let's continue to pay you as a farmer to grow food for us. And then let's plan for your future. And let's plan for those downturns. Let's plan for that another 2012. Lord help us, let's not do that again. I don't know if you remember, but we lost all of our fruit. Almost 80% of it, right? Because of the crazy weather. So I wanted to share a little bit more with you on what I think we should do. Right? So let's create this B Corp. Let's make this happen. Every one of you can be involved. You can all join me on this journey to change what we're doing in farming, to change the way we're thinking about farming, to create a system that grows new farms, that brings new people into the fold that want to do this crazy work. Let's make it all year round. Let's have an equipment pool, because equipment is expensive. Have you guys ever bought a tractor? Anybody bought one of these things? Oh my Lord, I didn't even know. A used tractor, $20,000. One of those big ones that you see out there doing the corn and soy, holy Moses, they're like $250,000. How do you get one of those? I guess the government pays for some of that, right? Some of it is subsidized, so they get lucky. But when you know what food is considered according to the government? Food, I'm growing food, it's considered a specialty crop. Let's think about that for a second. A specialty crop. So there aren't many options for new farmers because you gotta have access to land, you gotta have access to capital, you need all this equipment, you know, and farmers are terrible about working together. They're very stubborn. They're very independent. So let's change that a little bit too. Let's say, let's work together. Let's share our equipment. Let's share our labor pool. Let's share these resources and assets. I have 70 acres. Guess how many tractors I have? I have 6. How many can I ride on at any one time? 1, right? There's an asset somebody else could be using. So I think that that's the future. We need to change the way we think about this. This isn't family farming anymore. This isn't, you know, let's just hand it over to the next generation and hope that it goes well. Let's take it by the reins. And I want to leave you with a new idea. We've heard about the 3 Ps, right? People, planet, profits. Yay! I want to talk about the 3 Fs. Farmers, farmsteads, and food. And join me on 1 million seeds in this crazy journey, because it's happening. And I'm going to tell you, if I don't do it, somebody out there better do it, because we need to change the way we're going here with farming. We need to change our direction. So that's your crazy farmer speech for today. Thank you.